My name's Mick Parkin, fighting out with TFT MMA.
He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 264 pounds, fighting out of Council Town, England, Mick Parkin!
What got you into martial arts originally? What was the first get into MMA?
There was a local jiu-jitsu gym, like kickboxing jiu-jitsu gym, and me, like, two best friends trained when I was about 14, 15, and I remember it was just my mum. She was saying, "Oh, why don't you go along and try it and see if you like it?" And I put it off a few times, and I went and trained, and it was like, I enjoyed it. It was fun, something different. He says my friends were there, so it was a more social thing. I went with my friends, a little bit training with them, and I enjoyed it. And I kept training, maybe 2-3 times a week from 15. Then I went to 4 times a week, and it was like every day. Then I trained, and then I got to about 18, 19, and I decided to have like a kickboxing fight just because I trained that long. A few of my other friends are starting to have fights. I just wanted to like have a fight, and then obviously did okay, enjoyed it, and I thought, oh, I'll have a few more now, and then just slowly progress from there.
What point did you start taking it a bit more seriously? Like, what point did you realise, fucking hell, I could make a career out of it?
I had a few amateur kickboxing fights, maybe 5 or 6 before I did an MMA fight, I think. I'm at MMA, and like I said, I was grappling maybe 4 or 5 times a week, so I thought I might as well get into the MMA side of it as well. And then, I just kept winning amateur. There's not many heavyweights anyway, so I was fighting and I was doing okay and winning. I thought, oh, like, when I was younger, when I was 21, you never thought, oh, I'll be a professional fighter when I'm older. I just enjoyed fighting and say I went. And the more you win, you think, oh, maybe I could be half decent at this. And then I think maybe towards the end of my amateur fight, I think I had 7 amateur MMA, I think, something like that. And towards the end, I wanted to turn pro, then turned pro, won a few of them. And then, like I said, everyone's telling you, oh, you're heavyweight, like, you're so quickly in the bigger shows. And people were saying, oh, you're good, but like, I think everyone's friends tell them they're good in the background. Everyone's coaches said, oh, you can be really good. So it's like, oh, yeah. Then you fight. And then I won a few more. And it's like, oh, everyone's talking about, you're like quite high up in the regional rankings. And then next thing you know, I started training here. I think, I was at 2 pro fights or 1 pro fight. And then I started training here with Big Phil and Fisher. Then I just started getting better. Obviously saw how good Phil was doing. He was like smashing it. Then I was doing okay with Phil training. I was getting better. Then started training down the road with like Tom Aspinall, and obviously he was smashing at Cage Warriors when I first got there. And like just loads of advice from them, and they were telling us, oh, you are good, you're decent, and stuff like that. And then obviously got the call for the Contender Series, and then like it just skyrocketed from there.
What was that feeling like then, fighting with the UFC and having like more eyes on you than you'd ever had? Because you don't strike us as someone who like loves the attention, really. So what was it like having people, watching you more than ever before?
Yeah, so I was got the Contender Series call up, and that's obviously what you're building for. And again, you always see all the big shows are going to come, and then you're always thinking like, oh, are they? Like, you're fighting on the local shows, and then I felt like it was just like that. Oh, you're fighting the Contender Series. Obviously you win, you get the contract for the UFC, and it's like what everybody wants to go for. So I got that fight, and obviously it was buzzing. Obviously fighting the Apex was a bit weird at first. Obviously I'm used to it now. The first one was so weird, like no crowd, or a very small crowd walking out. And obviously getting the win, there's a lot of pressure on you because it's like your chance. So I managed to walk out, get the win, and then obviously after Dana White comes out and he gives you a contract at the UFC, then you're like, oh, I'm like in the UFC now. Like, this is like the biggest show in the world, what everybody wants to be on. And then that happened, got the contract, then got the first one, obviously at UFC London. It was amazing. Like walking out there, Tom was fighting on the card, so I had a friend there, fight week. Everything went amazing. Fight week was so good being around. Like, the organisation's huge. You see how great the organisation is. It's so big. Like, walking down the street, there's like fans waiting for outside the hotel, and obviously got the fight in front of the home crowd. It was like amazing atmosphere. Got the win. Tom won, so it was amazing, like celebrations. And it's come around again where I'm fighting on a card, another UK card with Tom again. But this now he's like the champion of the world. So it's mad how fast things can come around. You can't explain the feeling of when you're walking out, everyone's cheering you. Like, you look. I remember the last time I looked around, it's like a 10,000 stadium, whatever it is, 20,000. It's just full of people like watching it. It's crazy. People coming to see you fight.
So everything goes to plan next week. You knock them out in the first round. It's done. What's your plan there? Like, have you thought about what you want next, or what your future's going to look like, or are you just sort of taking it as it comes?
I do take every fight as it comes. I think heavyweight's definitely faster. So the UFC have been quite fair how they've matched us. I feel like it's always been like the first one was a Contender Series winner, 1-0 in the UFC. Second one was a guy who just won a Contender Series. Third guy was a guy who was 3-0. I was 2-0. So I feel like the match is quite fairly. But I do think another win puts us 4-0 in the UFC. So it's probably going to be like a top 15 opponent, I think, then. If I don't get pushed in the top 15 myself. Maybe he's not, the might give us another guy like who's unranked and stuff like that, but I'll take whatever. Obviously, what we're now, July, hopefully win, no injuries, try and fight again at the end of the year. Maybe he's July or maybe it's November. It would be great to try and get back in there, get another win on the thing, which obviously it'll probably be America, somewhere like that. So I never look past my opponent. I've still got to fight him Saturday and beat him, and he's a tough guy. So I never look past him, but yeah, hopefully a top 15 guy. And like I said, I would take my time, I would be as slow as possible. I'm only 28. I've had 9 pro fights. I've still got loads of mistakes I'm making. I've still got loads of mistakes to make and improve on. So I'll just take my time, but I do understand like 4, 5, 6 wins in the heavyweight division does push you up there in the top 10s and stuff like that. So just tell the UFC where they want to go.